Hey everybody, it's Jess here with Blush Jess. Thank you so much for watching for another weekly check-in on intuitive eating. I also will give you my weigh-in for the week, let you know how it's been going. First of all, I want to say if you have more questions on intuitive eating, I am not an expert on it by any means, but I do have a video that I will try to remember to link above, kind of explaining it in more detail, and that is last week's check-in. So I went into a lot more detail on that video, and if you have more questions, check that out first. So, I also wanted to say, if you are not subscribed, I'm really trying to make it a point to mention this. If you aren't subscribed, or if you think you are, check and make sure that it still says you are subscribed, because a lot of my subscribers got unsubscribed, I've heard. So just click on the subscribe button. It's right down below. And that will ensure that I show up in your subscription feed. If you want to be notified for new videos, make sure you hit the bell down below, and that will just send you a notification when I post a new video. So how has this week gone? You guys know intuitive eating. I have been eating whatever I want, but only eating when I'm hungry and stopping as soon as I don't feel hungry anymore. So I'm not eating to full. I'm not eating tons of food. I'm eating very, very small portions of food. And it couldn't have come at a better time, because this week has been so crazy busy. A lot of you know that we had an appointment in Chattanooga with our son. Go check out that previous video if you want to know all about that, because I don't want to make this video super long. But it was stressful. We've had a lot of fast food and stuff, so being able to not feel guilty about, all of that, and not having to have to focus on how many points is this, what can I have, what, how much carbs and protein and, all of that. It's really been helpful just to be able to, what, wherever we end up for food, I can just eat a small portion of something, not think about it, and move on, because that's kind of where I've gotten into the trouble in the past. I'm reading a lot of books right now on intuitive eating. The one I'm reading right now, which I would definitely recommend, is The Overfed Head. I'm almost through that one. I have some more that I shared, and we'll go into in more detail at a later time, because I haven't read them yet, so I don't want to endorse them or point you to them. But I definitely think that this plan is meant for me. I've been on diets for so long that food has become everything. Like when I was tracking, and every moment of my day was concentrated on food. And when you have that mindset, it's really hard not to overeat, because you're constantly thinking about food and what can I have next and how many points I need to buy this. And taking a step back and really just letting food be food, and it's meant to be enjoyed. And I do enjoy my food, but then I can move on from it. It has been so freeing, and like I said, it couldn't have come at a better time, because this week's been really nuts. Okay, so highlights of this week. Of course, we had that trip to Chattanooga, and we will be having to make more trips as we get some more testing done for my son. I also had that time in the month happen this week. So normally it's really hard to stay on plan, but I didn't find, there was a few times where I probably chose things because like usually I want more sweets at that time of the month. It just kind of happens. I know that sounds kind of cliche, but it does happen for me that I kind of want more sweet things. And I think that happened, but I also just used it in my intuitive eating. So, I might have had a little bit more sweets. And of course we have all this abundance of Halloween candy, which has not been tempting at all. I've had like a few little fun sized treats, but that's been it. And it's not been tempting. We went out to eat a bunch. We've had a lot of stuff going on at the church and, different things. So, I've had Zaxby's this week. I've had McDonald's this week. I've had pizza this week. I've had, Moe's. Like, we've been to a lot of restaurants. It's just happened that way. It's not been intentionally, but I've been able to work my plan there. We've had Chick-fil-A. I had Starbucks. It's been like pretty much every day we've eaten out, or almost every day. And that's not normal for us, but sometimes, you have to do that. You have to do that because you're busy. So being able to still be on plan has been key. So I've just been listening to my body, and that is the key that I am learning in this is When you're born, and you know, those of us who had taken care of newborns, you don't have to teach newborns how to eat, like unless there's a problem. When they feel hungry, they're going to scream and cry until they get food, and then they're going to stop when they're full. That's just how they are. Now, it's not a set, you know, usually it's not a set thing of they're going to get hungry at, you know, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They kind of just eat when they want to. And somewhere in the process, we've transitioned into eating is not about hunger. You know, eating is about, you eat at breakfast, you eat at lunch, you eat at dinner, you eat snacks in between, and that's just how you do it. And we've stopped listening to our body. I can honestly tell you, being on Weight Watchers, being on counting calories and all of that, I didn't eat just because I was hungry. You know, I ate because it was time for lunch, you know, and I had so many points I had to get in, or so many calories, and I stopped when the food was gone, or you know, if I didn't like it, I just stopped when I wanted to. I didn't stop because I was full or because I was satisfied. You know, we inhale our food. You know, I would sit down with a plate of food, and I would almost not even taste it. I would just cram it in, trying to fill up myself, you know, and slowing down and eating and really thinking about, like, what do I want to eat? Am I truly hungry? Eating slowly, enjoying the food. I feel like I'm enjoying my food more now than when I just crammed in a huge amount of food. You know, a small piece of pizza I can make last a long time, and I can enjoy it more than if I had 4 pieces of pizza and I just crammed it in. I hope that makes sense. But really getting in touch with how God made our bodies and how He made us to know what's good for us. You know, you always hear, and one of my books said this is so true, when you're pregnant, you know, you will have these random cravings for, you know, oranges, or, you know, I always craved like spicy things with Lucy, or I went through a phase of really loving fruit when I was pregnant, and we kind of listen to that more when we're pregnant, but God created that in our bodies now. And, you know, if you really are in tune to your body, and when you're hungry and you think, what really sounds good? If you need more protein, your body is going to steer you into, hey, I really would like, you know, some chicken, or maybe I would like some eggs, or maybe I would like some cheese, or string cheese. You're going to naturally give your body what it wants when you're listening to it. At least that's what I've found. And I know a lot of you are going to say, but I've seen your videos and you've eaten a lot of junk. Yes, that is true. It is true. I've had some junk this week, but I've had very small portions. I went to Zaxby's and I had 1 chicken finger. You know, I mean, that's never happened before, and I didn't feel deprived, and I left there empowered. Like, with this process, the biggest thing that has helped me is I know if I overeat past full, it's going to take me a long time to feel hungry again. You know, I might not be hungry again until the next day, you know, if I go way past full. So I want to eat a small portion so that I can be hungry at dinner time, so that I can be hungry for a snack. The smaller portion meals get me to hunger faster, and that has helped me so much. I don't know if that makes sense, but when you're waiting for your stomach to growl to eat, you want that to happen quicker so you don't want to overeat. And that has been a game changer for me, waiting for hunger. I don't think I ever truly felt hunger and paid attention to it like I am now. You know, we've always been taught, well, breakfast is the most important, and it is important if you're hungry. But eating when you're not hungry just because you think breakfast is important is not healthy. You know, you need to eat when you're hungry, and I promise you, I'm not going to starve eating small portions. My body is overweight. My body wants to be thin. I honestly believe God created our bodies to know. It knows I'm overweight. It stored all this extra fat. But restricting calories and points, it puts the body in starvation mode, and it doesn't know when it's going to get any more nourishment. And so it's going to, you know, when you keep ignoring those hunger cues and you say, no, I don't have any more points left, or no, I don't have any more calories left, your body goes into a starvation mode and it hangs on to extra fat. Also, when you're eating every time you're hungry, your body knows that it can trust you. When you're hungry, it's gonna get fed, and it starts releasing it. I have felt such freedom, and I also want to say, I know this is not for everyone. I have actually done a similar thing in the past, and I wasn't ready for it, and it didn't work. But I'm in the right frame of mind now that this has been so freeing and such a blessing in my life at this time. So I'm loving it. And being on my period this week, I wasn't sure how the scale, I just had said, you know, whatever the scale does, it does. And I'm not going to stress out about it because, you know, I'm extra fluids and all of that. It's not an excuse to overeat, which I didn't. But, you know, your body goes, it fluctuates. So, oops, sorry, I kicked y'all again. So I wasn't sure how it was going to do. Let's just get into the results. So last week I was 223.2, I believe. And then this morning, a week later, I was 222.6. So I'm down 0.6 after losing 2.6 last week or 2.4 last week. So I am down like 3 pounds in 2 weeks, and that is huge for me. And I haven't had to stress. I haven't had to track. I haven't had to obsess. Food has become a non-issue. Like, I love food and I still enjoy eating it, but I am not thinking about it all the time because I know as soon as I get hungry, I can eat it. And I don't have to worry about what it is or if I'm getting the right nutrients. My body is going to let me know what I need. And I've been listening to it and, you know, trying my best to not let food be an emotional experience. You know, when I'm stressed, I used to eat. When I was sick, I would eat. You know, if I was stressed out, I would eat. And I'm really trying to let that go and just listen. And that is also what's been helping about listening to my hunger is if I'm stressed, I go, okay, I really want to eat something. Wait, is my stomach growling? Do I feel hungry? No, I really don't. Okay, well, I've got to wait. And it's kind of forced me not to emotionally eat. I'm not saying this process is going to be easy. I know there's going to be weeks where I mess up and I eat past full. You know, it's going to happen. But then at the same time, all I have to do to get back on track is wait for hunger the next time. And it might be 24 hours later if I really overdid it, you know, but that next hunger cue is my cue to eat. And it's been phenomenal for me. Plans for next week is just to keep doing what I'm doing. I have a lot going on, y'all, and I'm just going to really try not to let stress get to me. You know, God has all of this. Whatever you're going through right now, I want you to know that God has you, and He is not too big. I mean, He is not too small that He cannot help your situation, and He's not too big that He doesn't care about your small problem that you think is, you know, God's too big. He has more important things to do. No, He cares about you. He cares about what you're going through, and give it to Him, because you know what? When I hold on to things so tightly and I want to control everything, it takes it out of God's hands. And I would much rather give it to Him and let Him work it out, because He has way more resources than me. So I'm really trying to put my mind there and not fear, because the Bible says over and over and over, do not fear. Do not fear. Do not worry. It changes nothing. So that is what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I don't know the timetable of the testing we're going to have to get done with Nate, if it's going to happen this week or if it's going to be at a later date. But if whatever happens, I'm going to eat when I'm hungry and stop when I'm full. And that's just how it's going to be. We also have an IAP meeting this afternoon that I'm filming this, so I'm not going to let that stress me out either. I'm just going to keep on being strong, giving my worries to God, and eating when I'm hungry, stopping when I'm full. So I want to say thank you so much to all of you for all of your support, for all of your recommendations. I'm reading books, I'm listening to podcasts, I'm watching YouTube videos, and I'm just trying to gather information on this. But at the same time, I feel like all the information I need is in my body. I have the hunger cues, I have the fullness cues. I don't really need much more than that. But all the other stuff is just bonuses. That's really going to help me understand and stay on track more. So I'm really enjoying it. Those of you that came over from Kelly, I know she mentioned my videos and she's kind of doing some intuitive eating herself from Freedom on a Budget. I love her. I've been watching her for a long time. She's awesome. And thank you, Kelly, for sending some people over. And if you come over from her or you're just new, welcome. Please make yourself at home. Let me know if you have any questions. If I can answer anything down below in the comments, I will. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit that thumbs up button. 0.6, y'all. 0.6. I'm so thrilled with that. And I will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.